Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. So, I just got back from Las Vegas attending the Boss Reseller Remix. So, this is going to be a little wrap up of what I experienced. Um, I have a special place in my heart about the Boss event. I go to all of them, but in a way, this is one of my favorites, if not the favorite. Not so much because of the event, which is a great one, but also because of what else entails. It holds a special place for me, as I said, because it was, in fact, the first meetup that I ever went to and started this whole passion that I have for the meetups. And also, I really, as I've said before, I've created quite a nice community, a family, I should call it, in Vegas. I'm very close with Archie, who I stayed with, and John and Jenna from Flippin' Ain't Easy, who I also got a chance to stay with, for a couple of days when I was there. And we had a lot of fun. In addition to the rest of the reseller community in Las Vegas, who I got to visit, I stayed for 2 weeks. And even though the meetup was just 4 days, I scheduled it in the middle of my stay. So I had like a good week before the meetup and a week after the meetup to do a whole bunch of stuff. In my last video, I cover what I had done before the meetup occurred. And there'll be another video coming out with covering the event and everything that happened is there. But I'm just going to wrap up kind of what what I experienced. It was really great. As I said, a lot of fun. I've been to Vegas a number of times, staying for 2 weeks. I have kind of like a little agenda where Archie and I, go out to a lot of thrift stores and the Goodwill bins, and we go to garage sales every weekend. And then the meetup was in the middle of the 2 weeks, and then I had another week to kind of go and do a little more thrifting and going to garage sales and hanging out, going to the flea markets and all of that. So some high points of the actual event itself. Boss is really great. It's more of a conference than a meetup, although Katie and Vicky and Teresa do their best to really provide a lot of fun and entertainment in addition to the meetup. There, the way it's structured is that Monday Monday night, they always have an icebreaker, a meetup at a different local spot in Las Vegas where we can all get to hang out a little bit and get to know each other, meet each other, renew acquaintances, and so on. Very informal. Uh, and that was held at a local spot right on Fremont Street. And then Tuesday, the starts late. Lunchtime, noon is the time for the registration, and then there's like a couple of sessions that occur, just like 2 or 3 sessions Tuesday, so it's not that much of a heavy day. Tuesday night was a free night where we could kind of do whatever we want to do, or if we meet people to go out and eat or whatever. That's kind of like the point of any meetup, where there are official events that occur, activities, but there's usually a lot of time surrounding it where you can kind of network or just hang out with people and have a good time. Wednesday was the first full day of sessions. We started off early. Got to start about 8:30, 9 o'clock. The first session was 9:30. I think there were like about 4 sessions before lunch, 4 sessions after lunch, and then after that, we had the Fremont Street Crawl, which is a nice activity that is part of each sports event, where we meet at Container Park, which is just about 2 blocks away from, it's on Fremont Street, but it's 2 blocks away from the Fremont Street Experience, where, if those of you not familiar with Vegas, it's part of the old strip. Before the strip was built, Old Vegas was the original casinos and all. And there's been like some renovation. They fixed up all the casinos, and they have this big screen that goes about 4 blocks long, and it has LED screens, and it projects all different pictures and symbols and little lifesavers, funny stuff, really interesting. And there's like 3 band shells, so you can walk from spot to spot and check out the music, and there's street performers and you can see just about anything that you want. And the idea of this Fremont Street crawl, excuse me, was that we all convened at Container Park to kind of get a starting point, stayed there for a couple hours, and then we just all walked in one group. There's probably about, I don't know, 40 or 50 of us. Wednesday night, we all single file proceeded to Fremont Street, and we kind of hung out and danced and carried on and listened to the music and just talked. And it's a nice, fun part of the meetup. And I enjoy that every year. And then Thursday, the last day, and it's over. Really goes quickly. Thursday, we had sessions in the morning and through the afternoon, and then the last event of the official meetup was the Whatnot auction. They do that every year, where Katie and Vicky accept donations from members and other people for the auction, and then we conduct a live auction where it's fun because where the auction had like about 550 people in attendance, but 100 of them were us in the audience. So we were kind of experiencing it live while people at home are watching it on their phones or on their laptops and bidding. And we all got a chance to bid on the events. It was it was hosted by Mike, Storage Auction Pirate, and he conducted a really good auction. And it was a charity auction for the benefit of the Blind Center. And last year we had collected a total of $11,000 to the benefit of the Blind Center, and the goal was to beat that amount, and we did. We ended up selling, I think, over $12,000 worth of stuff for the Blind Center. So it's a great opportunity to support a great cause. I will be producing another separate interview, not an interview, a separate video, where I filmed the tour. Every year they have a tour of the Blind Center, where Ryan Wilson, who is the director of operations for the eBay operation, and he shows us around in the back, the warehouse, and the tech area. It really is kind of an amazing thing. I mean, the Blind Center. One of the reasons why Katie and Vicky and Teresa hosted it at the Blind Center is because they are eBay sellers. They sell over $2.5 million a year between the eBay operation, and they have like a recycle operation as well, where people come and just donate their scrap metal, and then they sort it out and everything, and they resell it, and they resell on eBay. And this is really an amazing operation. I mean, consider the fact that here is staff of about maybe 8 to 10 people, all either blind or sight impaired, and they're conducting the entire operation. They do the selling, they do the listing, they do the breaking down of all the equipment, they do all the repairs, and these are all either sightless or, as I said, sight impaired people. And it's just, if you ever think that, boy, I can't do this, go to the Blind Center and go to one of these tours, and you'll see, you'll count your blessings on what you do have, and you think about what other people who have less ability in terms of sight than you do and what they could possibly do. So it really was a good conference overall. Great speakers. Every year, Katie and Vicky put on different speakers in different topics. It's not just who sells on eBay and a little bit about that, and who sells on Poshmark or Mercari. They did it like entirely different topics, unique topics. Each year it's different. I mean, they had one speaker talk about creating your own merchandise, self-branding. The new and up-and-coming thing now is Whatnot online selling. So there was a speaker who spoke about what's involved with online selling. The last speakers were Rod, Picking and Punching and Carry, American Arbitrage, and they did a very interesting talk on the anatomy of garage sales and the strategy of how to go to a garage sale. And it was really, really very, very interesting. So that's pretty much it as far as the event. As I said, I was able to go to some garage sales and some thrift stores, and picked up a decent amount of merchandise. I'll add a clip about the what I found, and I'll show you what I got. And that was it. Just want to talk about the future of the Boss Reseller Remix. It's kind of in limbo as to whether or not this event will continue. And personally, if it does not, I think it would be a big disservice to the reselling community, because it really is such a great event. Now, I understand the position that the organizers have. I mean, it has been declining in number of people over the last few years. And I know I was speaking with Vicky, and she says it's really the last couple of years they kind of worked at a loss. I mean, it's kind of, it costs a lot of money to operate this event, and I think, a lot of people are taken back by what it costs, like almost $400 in addition to whatever costs you have to incur to get out there. But they're not making any money, believe me when I tell you. The expenses that are involved are really high to put on a conference of this nature. And had it not been for the sponsors, they probably, couldn't do it. So I was talking to Vicky, and I was talking to Katie, I was talking to Teresa, and there's been rumors that this might have been the last one, but it's up in the air now. Teresa told me that let's see what happens. We're going to do the best. So what I would do to implore the reseller community to maybe encourage them to do it is for you to reach out to Katie and Vicky and say, it would be great, if this event would continue, and see if you can possibly get to it next year. Because as I said, it's really a great event. I've learned so much from it. I've had a lot of fun. I've made a lot of great friends as a result of my experience in Vegas with the Boss Reseller Remix, and I hope that it does continue. I'll show you my shirt that I'm wearing, the Boss Reseller Remix. That was from the first one that we had, and I hope it does continue. So with that, I will bid you an adieu. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. I will be leaving for Omaha in 2 days, heading over to the Planes to Profit event, and I will be doing the coverage for that as well. One thing I forgot to mention as a high point, which I thought was a lot of fun, was they did a live from right from the Boss Remix event. I think it was on Wednesday at noon, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing a live. So I will be doing a live from Omaha at the Planes of Profit as well. So stay tuned. Click on the notification bell so you'll be informed, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. So the packages that I shipped to myself from Vegas are starting to come in. This is the smaller one. I got a couple of bigger ones that are coming in from FedEx to be expected. So here's the rest of the haul. Just came in today via FedEx. I think I paid about $38 each for the shipment, and they were nice sized boxes. I'll open them up in a bit. This was part of a lot of about 100 phone cases that I got at the Goodwill bins. So basically I'm paying just for weight. These are about 2 ounces a piece, and it was $2, I think, and 9 cents a pound. So I got about 8 of them for $2, and then whatever the shipping was. The other half of that lot is still to come. So here's the unboxing. More of those phone cases. Yeah, I got a lot of them. There's like over 100. and some other stuff. You know, it's funny. I just did this picking between the last week and 2 weeks, and I totally forgot what I got. It's kind of like Christmas morning all over again. I'll have to check all this stuff out. See what I got. Some baseballs, some electronics. I like electronics. This was a nice buy for $5, this Eero unit. I know this is going to fetch maybe about $80 or $100. Maybe I'll get that listed today. Yeah, baby. Vegas. Yeah, some great picking in Vegas. I always enjoy doing the garage sales and bin run when I'm there. So here is my Vegas haul all laid out. I counted about 80 or so items individually, if you don't count the phone cases, which is about 100. So basically, I have to factor in about $1 an item for shipping. And everything was pretty much, standard garage sale pricing, $1, $2, whatever. So I don't think that having to ship back home adds a considerable expense. I think this might end up being good. It was one estate sale where they had these melamine plastic cups. No, I would never move. Ship, glass, of course. But these things, I got about 54 pieces. I paid $20 for them. So I'm into maybe 60 cents each. And I did do some preliminary comping. And I saw a set of 3 pieces for like about $20. So I'll have to do some additional research, but I think that might be a score. Also got some loose baseballs and softballs. It's a pretty good pickup, especially this time of the year. I got 4 or 5 Halloween costumes, which is not the season now, but if you can get them for like $2 or $3, they comp out for like 15 or so. I got those each for $1. I got a couple of granny squares. Shout out to Kevin. I found a scale, and it works, so I might keep this for personal use to have an additional scale. A couple of assorted electronics. These things were cool. I don't know much about them, but made in Hong Kong, so I know they're vintage. Have to look those up. I mentioned before this Eero unit. That'll be nice. Return. And this Better Homes and Gardens cookbook comped out for about $15. I got it for $1. Couple of plushies. And again, this is all a result of what I picked up at the garage sales. We went to about two to 3 days worth of garage sales. The weather was kind of a little off, so we really didn't do too well there. We had 2 or 3 good sales, and the rest of them were mediocre. And the rest of this pickup was from the bins. If you recall from my prior to the Meetup video, I spent $100 for 50 pounds of stuff, which included those phone holders and a few other items. So all in all, Vegas is not much different than anywhere else, pretty much, for garage sales. Just that they're more prevalent. They're around more often. I mean, you can go pretty much all year round. And that's why I like being able to go around different parts of the country when there's nothing going on in my neck of the woods. And it's not that much of a hassle to put them in a couple of UPS boxes, ship them out. And then, 3 or 4 days after I get home, the items follow me. And I have some inventory.